What's an Asian scapegoat? In most Asian families with multiple children, there is always a golden child. It is the child who is favored by one or both of the parents by virtue of their birth order or gender. Usually, it is the oldest son, and the other children will have roles that serve this eldest golden child, and they will learn to obey and never upset the position of their golden sibling. The middle girl child will most likely be a handmaid to the eldest sibling and their parents. The youngest, if he's finally the boy the parents wanted, will be the golden child. I am the youngest, not born a boy, so I was the lowest status daughter. Respect your elders was an adage our parents frequently repeated to us. This adage applied to them, and it also meant I had to respect my siblings who constantly bullied me. When our parents came home from work, my siblings would accuse me of fabricated offenses which I objected were not true. But because I was outnumbered by 3 older siblings, our parents believed them, and I was unfairly beaten, night after night, for years. I was labeled a troublemaker and became the family trash bin for everyone's blame and anger. This is how I became the scapegoat. Even as an adult, I never outgrew the smearing my siblings started as children, and I could never rise from my place as the bad girl. Where there's a golden child, there is often a silenced scapegoat. Our immigrant parents came to America for the opportunity to excel economically and to climb up from their position of poverty. But even though my parents left their Asian country that once had kings and a caste system and came to America, a democratic nation, our family was not equal. My parents set up the same human hierarchy they had left behind in their home. There was an entitled child, middle children, and a low-class child. Because talking back was not allowed, each frustrated member of my family took their anger out on me. Not all Asian families are structured in this hierarchical way, but the culture of obedience, silence, and the intense focus on the outward image of success can create very toxic situations. I would guess domestic abuse is more common than Asian families would ever reveal. Sons are preferred over daughters, as the cultural roots of Asia is patriarchal. Often, Asian scapegoats are the low status daughters who are expected to do the brunt of the housework while our brothers are coddled. We are often physically and emotionally abused, gaslighted to think we are crazy, made to think the pain we feel is not important, and we are reminded that our parents had it worse. Any complaint is met with a blanket retort that talking back is disrespectful. We cannot question the order of the hierarchy, and we must obey whatever they say. We are forced to swallow our words and take the abuse our family gives us because that's what the obedience culture demands. So we stay quiet, allowing our biological family to treat us like servants and whipping posts because that's tradition. We know this treatment is not normal because we watch the lives of Americans on television. We want to be like them, but we're not allowed such freedoms. We are neither here nor there. We don't quite belong in America, and we don't quite fit into our family of origin either. We want to be accepted and loved by our families, but the love in Asian families is often conditional. So we can't talk about what we go through, or else we'll be thrown out of our family, shunned by our respective Asian community, and gossiped about by relatives. Asian Americans with a traditional mindset have said to me, "You're making Asians look bad." I can understand this sentiment since our collective longing is to be accepted in America, to be seen as good people who are not villainous or deceptive as stereotypes have painted us. Because of all these things I've talked about, we are trapped in silence and mournful sighs. It's still taboo to talk about abuse in Asian families. The threat of shaming and angering the people who harmed me is real. So I speak about my experience as an Asian scapegoat under an alias for these very reasons. But I know that there are other Asian scapegoats out there, and my hope is that my vlogs help validate your experience. Please subscribe so you know when I post my next installment. I'll be posting more vlogs about topics no one really talks about. Also, if you'd like to suggest something, please leave a comment. Comments always lead to interesting discussions.